Hi, it's Charles at Empress Mills, and I am here today with the three most popular fleeces that we stock at Empress, or the three most popular fleece categories, should I say, for want of a better description, and that is Super Soft, Antipill and Softshell. We have a huge range of fleeces at Empress, 14 to 16 varieties and 600 to 800 individual fleeces in stock, depending on deliveries at any one time, but these are by far the favourites, so we just thought we'd dig a little bit into what makes them popular and also the differences between them, why you would choose one over the other. They are quite an interesting spread of fabrics because you've got very much opposite ends of the spectrum. Super soft, very much more for use in the home, and soft shell at this end, very much more along the lines of activewear and for outdoor projects, with Antipill falling really nicely in the middle, and it can go both ways and be multi-use, so it is a nice spectrum. Before I destroy these lovely folded pieces, I do just want to pick up on the size differences. These are all metre cuts, they're all exactly the same size cut of fabric, but you can already see the difference in the fleeces, with the Super Soft having this fluffy nature, much more volume to it, Antipill a step down, and Soft Shell one step down again. And interestingly, just another little fact on that, we actually start with the lightest fleece through to the heaviest in terms of actual physical weight. So despite that being sort of super fluffy and bouncy, it is the slightly lighter weight one compared to the Antipill, and Soft Shell is the heaviest at that end, even though it looks that bit smaller. It's just more dense, really. So yes, let's dig in. Let's get to the main thing. So this is Super Soft. It is a wonderfully gorgeous. It does what it says on the tin, a wonderfully gorgeous super soft fleece. It's got a lovely warm feeling pile to it, and it's one of those fleeces that when you walk past it here in the warehouse, you just can't resist giving it a quick stroke. It's absolutely lovely. It is warm, it's soft, it's cuddly, it washes extremely well, but because it's got that pile on it, it's not really designed for outdoor projects and sort of really active wear projects where it's going to be rubbed and things under the arms, or if you're on the side of a mountain climbing, for example. This isn't necessarily the fleece you'd be thinking of. This is much more suited to a lovely throw, a nice cover in your house, a quilt backing, a dressing gown, even a lovely cushion cover. We've got some cushions in this for my little one Sophie, who absolutely loves them because it's just naturally warm to the touch. It's just a naturally tactile fleece is the Super Soft. But as I say, very much created with that bent towards indoor home use. That being said, I've mentioned already, I've touched on it briefly, it does wash extremely well and it dries quickly. So it's perfect for children's projects and projects that are going to be in regular use, just not projects that are going to be roughly used like a coat. But for quilt backings, blanket backings, throws, cushions, it's absolutely wonderful. That's Super Soft. So, moving on, we've got Antipill, the middle ground in these three wonderful fleeces. This is an absolute favourite. It's one of the first fleeces we added here at Empress, and I'm a little bit of a geek about fleece. It's one of the ones that I really got started on when I first joined Empress. We already stocked some fleece, but I increased this range and we've added different versions of it and all sorts. This is the standard Antipill, but we do also do a stretch version. I think this comes in about 30 colours and the stretch in about 45. But that's mainly because the factory just doesn't produce more in the standard, because this is the favourite out of the two of those. As I say, it's the middle ground between Super Soft and Soft Shell. And why is that? Well, first and foremost, it's wonderfully soft. It's gorgeous to the touch. It is ideal for home use. You can use it for many of the same things. Potentially all of the same things that you would choose Super Soft fleece for. It's perfect for cushions, for example. It is absolutely wonderful for throws and covers, quilt backs, anything along those sort of lines. For home use, it is perfect for pet beds, for example, and pet coats. Absolutely hugely popular for projects for pets and dog beds in particular. The big difference between Super Soft is that Antipill doesn't feature that lusciously soft pile. So while it is a soft and tactile, cosy fabric, it doesn't have that real lush finish of the pile. That's important, as that is what brings it towards the sort of more practical end of this spectrum that we're talking about. And it's that lack of pile that makes it Antipill. Because it's got such a close shave, for want of a better word, want a better description, should I say, but because it does have such a close finish with almost a lack of a pile, it's got a softness and almost a very, very light sponginess to it. But that missing pile means that it is Antipill. There's nothing to ruck up, there's nothing to bobble up, particularly when you're using it for a jacket, which is why it crosses over into the sort of active wear spectrum and for apparel and things. If you've got this on as a fleece jacket and you're rubbing, you're climbing, for example, you're on the side of a mountain, you're just in a warehouse, you're at home in the garden, anything like that, this being rucked isn't going to pill. It will wash fantastically well with that in mind. So again, perfect for something that's in constant use in the outdoors. And also it is abrasion resistant, not abrasion proof, obviously no fabric really is, but it will stand up to scuffs and knocks well, and it won't instantly rip. So it's a really good, durable, all-round fleece. It's very much the middle ground because it is truly an all-rounder. While I'm on this one, I will just mention, and this actually applies to all three of the fleeces wash well and importantly are non-fray. So when you cut them, you're not getting loose edges, you don't have to worry about edging it, you don't have to worry about turning it up, you don't have to worry about overlocking it. You can cut it to the size you want and instantly use it, which is what makes it fantastic for projects in the home in particular. You can just cut this straight away. You can ask us to cut it. If you've ordered 2.5 metre piece, it will come. You can literally get it out of the bag we send it to you in, pop it on your sofa and be cosy warm. So, and that really does apply to all of them, but it's just something to bear in mind as it is a treat when working with fleece. So yes, overall, that's Antipill, the middle ground. Finally. And then we've got Softshell. So we are now at very much the sort of outdoor end of the spectrum. I was very excited when we got Softshell, found a lovely premium supplier, and I know it sounds silly talking about premium in a way, but it is. This has Softshell is designed with a soft outer shell and a micro fleece back, and I was really pleased to find this supplier because they actually add also a very, very fine membrane in between that soft shell outer and micro fleece back, which just further enhances the properties. And those key properties are that soft shell is wind and water resistant, so it just adds that extra layer of protection. It's got a micro fleece back, which gives it the warmth, and with that soft shell outer that's giving it that wind and water resistance, and also the membrane that I've just mentioned, it just gives you that extra layer of protection. Particularly, I always think fleece does offer some protection from wind anyway. It's a nice cosy fabric, obviously, but particularly that slight water resistance is wonderful with this. It's absolutely fantastic, and it is that makes it wonderful for outdoor projects, active wear, jackets, pullovers. We've even seen hats made in this, actually all the way through to bags made in it, because it's just got that little bit of structure to it as well. All of those reasons though are focused on the shell, and it's that soft shell outer which doesn't necessarily lend itself to the in-home projects where you're after a really, really soft, cosy finish for, say, on your sofa. It's a nice fabric. It's very soft when you think about comparing it in terms of a coat fabric, but you wouldn't necessarily want to snuggle up underneath this on your sofa. And that's really sort of the big difference from the Super Soft and the Antipill graduating onto this very much sort of outdoor active fabric, is that it's just got that little bit more body, that little bit more structure. I hesitate to call it a crispness because it's not. I mean, it does what it says on the tin. It's a soft shell, but that is all in relation. It's all relative to what we're talking about, and we're talking about that in terms of an outdoor fabric being soft, not necessarily used for the indoor, and that's the spread of the spectrum sort of complete there. In terms of projects, I mentioned the jackets and things. Again, so popular for pet projects. It makes wonderful pet coats in particular, because it's just got that extra layer of protection, so it'll just take a mud splash that little bit better. It can be wiped off that little bit easier with this particular fabric. But it has been such a popular range. I was really pleased to find this, and we've got in fact, this applies to all three of the fabrics, all three of the varieties, should I say. We've got them in both plains and design, so a massive shade range. I think this is off the top of my head, I think it's 30 shades, 35 shades, 25 shades, and then loads of designs, 150 designs, 100 designs, and maybe 50 designs in stock. And we're always updating those designs, always keeping nice and fresh. Good options between novelty and more sophisticated designs. So you've got perfect ones for kiddies right the way through to grown-ups, covered across the spectrum of these three. But overall, that's it. I hope it's been useful. It's a big question that we get asked, a lot of the differences. So I really hope that's been helpful. If you've got any additional questions, please get in touch. We would be more than happy to help. Whether you give us a call on telephone, leave a comment underneath the video, message us through the website or any of the social channels, we would be pleased to assist with any queries, whether it's on these, any of the fleeces, or of course, anything here at Empress. But in summary, super soft fleece, really designed for in-home use. Antipill fleece, a good all-rounder, very much the middle of the road, a fantastic option if you're not just sure which way to go. And then Softshell, very much an active wear, think about more outdoor projects and apparel with that one. And those are the three key fleeces that we stock here at Empress. Thanks very much indeed for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.